I think it actually doesn't hurt me at all anymore.
Really?
Because I feel like nobody's ever really creative anymore. It's like I see the same thing over and over again.
So you're just
I think it's more shocking.
What the is going on? I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
This is Unwaxed
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Wow, guys. All right. If you have received any pop culture updates from a celebrity breakup to Bachelorette tea, you probably heard it from these legends sitting to my left.
Legends.
Hosts of the wildly popular podcast Chicks in the Office, these besties took over the podcast space in 2017 when they partnered with Barstool Sports. Since then, they've gained over 500,000 followers, were nominated for a People's Choice Award, have interviewed countless celebrities, and are currently on tour. Jesus Christ, ladies.
Yeah,
Honestly,
like, what else?
This is Ria and Fran.
Yes!
Clap for ourselves. Thank you.
Honestly, do you ever listen to that and go like, what?
Like, we
hell?
made it. Mama, we made it.
I was just thinking about how professional your guys' intro is compared to when we have guests on.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right,
Did
we're
it-
here
did
with
it
a special
sound
guest.
okay?
It
'Cause
sounded great.
You guys, I held my breath the whole time. I'm like panting right now.
I was taking
no, that
notes
was
on
good.
how you were doing the intro so that we
Thank
could
you.
use that.
We always say, we were like, should we record this for our guests and send them as like a ringtone? Just to remind them, like, they're super
Like,
cool.
you're about
Such a
to-
good hype up.
right?
Yeah.
I got
Everyone,
chills.
everyone needs a hype up.
It's a good voice note to have.
yeah,
like, to
right?
just play.
So I met you guys, oh my God, was it maybe 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
I went
yeah.
on your show and I was freaking out. You guys gave me so much clout. From like my friends are like, you're going on Chicks in the Office. I love Chicks in the Office. It was so much fun. The environment of going to the studio, you girls are so nice. I was like, what the hell? They're awesome. Here we are again. We went on your show.
Yes.
And like, we just really appreciate you guys. I know you're busy gals on the go.
Oh,
Thank you for
thanks.
coming on
No,
today.
we appreciate you
We're
guys.
pumped that you guys are
having us
here.
on. Yeah, because I remember we were on Zoom and we were like, oh, we got to hang out in person. We got to do something in person. And finally we're here because it's
worked
so
out.
much better than
worked
doing
out.
it
It's
over
kind of crazy
Zoom.
how many people you've met on Zoom and then you see them in person. Like, this is just, you feel like you know them
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a weird way.
And then you say, nice to meet you, but like you already met them.
feel like, you know,
Exactly,
we already had an hour
exactly.
conversation.
No,
Right.
we're already friends. I can envision us having drinks this weekend at a bar. I feel like it's happening.
Yep.
Manifesting it for us. I would love to talk about how you guys met.
So we met at Barstool,
Okay.
which I think people get confused by. They always think that either we're sisters or
Yeah.
we're cousins, or
really?
we met before we
I can
worked
see
there.
the resemblance.
Yeah,
like,
I could
yeah,
too.
just Italian
Yeah.
families.
Yeah. Well, we're all Italian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we're all just a bunch of paisans living in New York and New
That's why
Jersey.
also it feels comfortable.
For sure.
But we met at Barstool. I had been working there for 6 months prior to when Fran came in. I started in like 2016. I was 19.
What did you do there?
I did a mixture of everything, like basically anything I could do because I was
Yeah.
brought in as an intern, but wasn't really told what I was to do as an intern.
Oh,
like
you were like,
it was very
free range there,
It's
yeah.
kind of just
Whatever.
like you go and you figure it out. And it
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
I would be in random videos. I would help out. Like they needed me to run to stores and grab them props or whatever
Right.
it was.
That's
Then
kind of fun.
there was the
Like very classic intern. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like
Hey, go
everyone
get-
out, like you running for coffees. Like,
Right.
yeah, we
and then
would
we'll
love
also
to.
put you
Yeah.
in this video.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you know, so it was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the business side of it, I think, was way, way, way smaller at the time. Like the company has grown so much at this point. I don't even know how many over.
It's like
close to
300%
400
or something.
employees.
Oh,
wow.
wow. Insane.
At this point, and like at the time, we were on one very small floor in New York City, and there was like maybe 10 business people at the time or whatever it was. And so I would help some people on that side of just like doing like Excel sheets or whatever. I had no idea how to make one of those either. I was just like, I'll do.
I still don't.
You're like,
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
resume,
No.
it says I
sti-
can,
Right,
but
no.
should I? You know.
That was one of the first videos.
Excel's in Excel.
You're like, I took a class, like, oh, I like I was going to.
That
you
was
know?
one of the jokes that they made the day that I was first hired. They were like, and she was hired because she was very proficient in Excel. And I was just like, I have. That's a joke because obviously,
You're like, I've
no.
done PowerPoint for high school.
So it was just basically anything that I can get my hands on. And then Fran came in 6 months later and kind of had a different type of role there.
Yeah.
Sophia and I really love to work, power through things, and we often put our stress on the back burner.
Yeah, and I think also another thing that adds on to that is when we're traveling, especially right now. I mean, we're in New York City, and just this whole trip has been kind of building up a little bit of anxiety. I don't know
For
if you feel the same way.
sure, with the work schedule, with
Yeah.
managing our family lives, our friendship lives, our relationship lives, it can be a lot and it's very stressful. And Sophia and I have actually been using this product that has seriously
Actually been helping
changed
so much.
our life. And we realized that you don't have to feel stressed all the time. And using Prima has actually changed our entire life.
But I don't even think people realize that 75 to 90% of doctor visits are for stress-related issues.
See, that's
Isn't
insane.
That crazy?
It's insane because many of us are operating all the time on survival mode. We expect our skin, our bodies, our minds to thrive when we're seriously running on empty.
Yeah, so what's great about Prima, it's California, we're from California, it's a lead, purpose-based CBD hemp product that just is the best way to relieve stress.
And why I love them so much is they are dedicated to helping you rise above modern day stress. So every day is a little bit better with their doctor formulated, clinically validated, high performance products for the skin, body, and mind.
So if you're not sure where to start, because I know that when it comes to these products, you're just a little bit overwhelmed, they have daily CBD capsules that you can just take on the go to relieve that stress. I love these gummies because, it's fun just to take a little bit of sweetness throughout
By
the
the
day.
way, delicious.
It's so
Chef's
good.
kiss.
Or you can go at night and you use Sleep Tight because I know that she also has this problem. We don't sleep. I know we talked about her ODing on melatonin. This has been the best alternative.
I
If you
don't
guys-
have to overdose on melatonin anymore.
Congratulations.
Prima has literally given me some of the best sleep of my life. So, lucky for us, Prima is offering our listeners an exclusive, limited time 20% offer with the code UNWAXED.
Trust us, because I feel like you guys are convinced at this point. So head to prima.co and get that 20% off using the code UNWAXED and get the relief you deserve by using the products today.
Prima. You
As
were
an
doing
intern.
radio though, right?
Yeah, we did. So I'm a Philly sports fan, so I
love
always
that.
followed our Philly guys.
Yeah.
So one of them, Spitty, he tweeted out like, "I'm looking for a New York intern." I was in school in New York at the time, and I sent it. I remember I sent it to my mom, and I was like, "Should I do this? Like, I really
Right.
don't know. Like, should I send it?"
Yeah.
And I sent him an email with my resume, all these things, and at the time, like, the New York office was so new and it kind of just seemed like a free-for-all. So everyone wanted to work in this mysterious like New York office.
Right.
But nobody was really taking it that seriously.
Okay.
So he said, like he emails me back, "Oh, can you come in, whatever, Tuesday, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, 9 a.m. Yeah, absolutely, I'll be there. I show up, he's like, "I told you and 5 other people to show up at 9 a.m. You're the only one here."
No way.
Are you serious?
I was like, "I'm the only one that came on time."
Wait,
he was
that's
like,
so shocking that you.
No, it was-
people apply for a job and don't show up.
yeah, no, it was nuts. And so like, and I
Good
was
for
one of the
you.
only people that like actually sent a resume, not just
my
being like,
God.
"Give me the job."
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'd fit in at Barstool. Like,
yeah, you're like, I know sports, I can
yeah,
do
so
it.
here's actually my resume. And they were doing a show called Drive Time on Facebook, which was very funny. It was like their morning a morning show. And they brought me on to help with production for that.
Right.
And then after a little while, like they let me have a mic and we talked, and I was kind of like a female voice on that, which was really fun. And then Ria and I got to talking more and hanging out more and realizing we had like so much in common and loved all the
Right.
same stuff. And that led to us making our Chicks in the Office Instagram account.
Yes.
Oh,
and
this was an
they're-
Instagram first?
Yeah, started on
Oh.
Instagram.
We started off by making like 1-minute videos of like the biggest topic of the day. And we didn't tell anybody we were doing it, like not
We
even
sat
the
in the
people
merch
there.
closet
we
with
like
one
just-
camera.
and we just and our producer now has been the same guy that edited the videos from the beginning.
No
He's great.
way. Wow.
And that's just really how it started. And then once we grew the Instagram to a certain amount, we took
Yeah.
it to Dave and we were like, we've been working on this. And he was like, oh, it looks like it's doing well. Like, let's blast it like everywhere. Like, put it on the website. They put it on the
Right.
Instagrams.
That
and
is sick.
then from there, Barstool had their own Sirius XM channel. So it was like radio all day long. And they had to fill the slots. And they were like, why don't you guys want to do like a Chicks in the Office radio show where you do the pop culture and news, whatever? We had no idea how to do a radio show, obviously. I think
Yeah.
at that time, then I was 20 years old and you were only 22,
I mean, that was the
23,
beginning
and-
of 2018.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we just had no idea what we were
Yeah.
doing, but we were like, okay, we're going to do it. Obviously, we're
Right.
not going to say no.
Of course.
And we did that every day. And then from there, it was like, well, podcasts are big. And at this time, it was like, who's going to listen? There's so many podcasts out there. Now there's even more. But at the
yeah.
time we were like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so many podcasts out there.
Yeah.
Like, who's going to listen to us? And then we did the podcast and it like exceeded their expectations like 10 times over. And we were like, oh, okay, we're into
gonna
it
stick
now.
with it.
Like,
Yeah.
now that we see how well it's doing, we're in it.
I would love to get into why you think your podcast is so successful because I don't really know another pop culture. I feel like you guys set sort of the foundation.
We
for
also
it.
get all the tea before it even.
Yeah, you
it's
guys
like
are,
I actually
how
really
are
get
you
all.
so on it?
Is it like, do you have a team that gets all that stuff?
We do have.
We have a
We've grown
little
slowly,
team.
and it's
Yeah.
a great little group of.
Yeah. Noah, our producer,
Yeah.
and then Natalie helps Noah with editing, and then Devin, who runs our social media.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's very on top of like when a news story hits, like they put it out there and they try to be like the
Good.
because you know like
You
when
should see
TMZ
Devin's
posts
phone.
something, yeah, like Devin has
push notifications on for
everything.
everything.
So it's
smart,
like
smart.
I only
you know
have
when-
one for myself.
yeah. You know when people
Shamelessly.
like reshare a TMZ story?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's what we want to be, where it's like when you go to an Instagram story, and I do see this now where people like share the chicks in the office.
Oh, a
like,
lot, yeah.
quote Of like what happened.
Yeah.
But I think that the reason it took off, and I think, you know, at the time Barstool didn't have any like female hosted shows, and
Yeah.
we were like the first ones there to do that, and so I think that got eyes on it too.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, okay, this brand that was built on all guys now has this show with two girls.
Yeah.
Like, let's see what that's about. And then all of the women who were following Barstool were then excited about that because they're like,
Right.
oh. And then people would show their wives and their
Right.
girlfriends. They're like, oh, this site that I
Yeah.
look at all day long,
Yeah.
and you're yelling at me that I'm looking at. Look at this show that they have
For sure.
with two great
Right.
women.
It's,
And
it's
so,
honestly the perfect storm for you guys. I feel like
Yeah.
the timing just hit.
Yeah.
Everything worked out. But sometimes, you know, when you work with your best friend or your sister,
Yeah.
Shit gets to the fan and it gets a little
there's
crazy.
a little creative
and
differences. Like Sophia has strengths in places that I clearly lack, and vice versa. Is there something that you guys like often disagree about, or like I don't like the way
Or
she
like
does
how do you
this,
could,
or
like fix
let's fight.
conflict
I'm just
if
kidding.
you ever-
But,
I think that we both know what our strengths and weaknesses
Yeah.
are. Like Fran is way more organized and like facts based, whereas like I'm very much like I just like to go off the top of my head with things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think if
Yeah.
it was both of me, it would be like very messy and like
Yeah.
going from this or whatever. And I just like I think we both bring out
the best.
the
of-
best in
yeah.
each other, and it wouldn't work if it was like two of me or two of
Yeah,
her.
totally.
Like,
That's why it works. Like if we're starting to talk about a topic, it's funny to have like I'll frame it up. Okay, this is what happened.
Yeah.
What do we think? And
Yeah.
she's like, well, this really reminds me of, you know, when I was 8 and we're like, all right, what? Where did this come from?
Right,
but like we
right.
always get back. It's great chemistry. I think that
Yeah.
is what sets our show apart from a lot of others because there are so many people that talk about entertainment news.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it can just come off really straightforward. We try and have
Be personable
more
about
fun
it.
with
Yeah,
it.
I don't like to just talk
Yeah.
about like straightforward facts of what happened with the story. And
Yeah.
people may not like that. Some people, like I see both. I see some people being like, oh, we love the personality and personal stories you bring to the podcast.
Right.
Because also, I think when you're talking a lot about celebrities and pop culture and things that are happening, I think it's kind of shallow to not place yourself in their shoes and kind of figure out what's going on. Because if
Yeah.
you're just talking about it from like a viewer's opinion,
Yeah.
then you could be a lot more judgmental. Where if
Yeah.
you're like, well,
Right.
this happened to me, and you can relate it to them, or
Yeah,
it's just
I
like
was gonna say,
see
yeah.
like if you were in
It'd
their
be
shoes.
weird if
and-
we never talk
Right,
about ourselves.
Exactly. And people are always like, why do you bring yourself up? Or like, why does the story always go back to you? And it's like, well, you try to relate to these people because they're real human beings.
beings.
And if you just talk about them as if they're not real human beings, then it's just kind of can come across rude
Yeah.
or as
I
if you're
agree.
not aware of what you're talking
I think you
about.
guys are also seeing the trend that being relatable is a lot more appealing than just being superficial or surface, because it's like you can say all the facts, but if people are not like loving you guys, then how are they going to want to come back every single week? There has to be like a consistency.
Yeah, you guys
to
give
it.
really good 2 cents, and when you put your opinion in, it's always just appropriate and respectful. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people like that. And I'm sure you have a lot of listeners that are like, oh, I like what they say, so I'm gonna,
Especially when
agree.
you guys do the Bachelor stuff. I mean, like, I don't even
Yeah.
know where that came from, because I have to tell you, like, I love listening to your commentary because I agree
Oh, yeah.
100% of it every single time, because you call shit out that, like, maybe I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
in
we're
the first
very
place.
honest about the
It's so
It's
great.
kind of crazy. Like you guys really drove into that franchise, and you even got luggage guy
We got
Trent,
Trent. Yeah,
on
we
The
got our guy.
Bachelor.
Yeah.
So what was it about that show that you're just like, okay, that's gonna be a huge
That's
part of it?
Yeah.
Was it you?
That's me.
Smart.
I've been watching the show for since high school.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it. I have always loved it. And Trent has also like always loved it. So even when we started working at
That's
Barstool, I always knew that
hysterical.
he liked the show.
Yeah.
And he would always live tweet it. I loved to live tweet it. And I just, it's such a major conversation point that like shows come and go and people recap shows, but people are always going to be watching The Bachelor.
No, it's true.
It's never gonna die.
Yeah, and so it got to a point where I was like, I'm sorry, Ria. I know you really don't care about this show, but like,
It's not going
it is
on.
going to be good for us. We can have opens up an entire world of guests.
It's true.
Because there's so many people
There's
that go on the
endless.
show.
There's
exactly.
like hundreds.
Yeah, and you guys have
Exactly.
access to like the hottest one at that moment,
And
especially.
we've grown it so much now from talking about it so much that we have created a fairly decent relationship like with ABC
for
and their
sure.
press.
That's
so
awesome.
they give us, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette
Yeah.
every season for interviews, and they don't
Yeah.
do that for a lot of podcasts.
Yeah,
they do.
So
Awesome.
And it has been really awesome and has helped our podcast, I think,
Yeah,
a ton.
totally.
Like, I think
yeah.
getting into it. So I am
Those are
glad
some of our
that I did
biggest
start
episodes.
watching.
Yeah.
But I do think
Love-hate relationship
I have a
with
love-hate
The Bachelor.
relationship, but I also think it's a good thing because I do think even if people, because it's a lot of the people who are very loud about it that are like the most dedicated fans, but
Yeah.
there are casual viewers who
For sure.
watch it to hate on it or make fun of it or
Right,
just
yeah.
call
Right.
the bullshit out on it. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's where I come in, where I'm like, I'm watching every episode. I'm not saying I love this show, but like the
Right.
drama is very entertaining and
It
I will
is.
say my thoughts on it. And I think that there are, maybe they're not like vocally saying it, but there are a lot of people who agree
Right.
with what I'm
Totally.
saying.
I
about
wouldn't
watching
want to
it.
listen to a recap of three people who all have the same opinion.
No, I
Right,
agree
right.
with that. Yeah, because then
100%.
it's just gonna be the same tune.
Exactly.
I actually prefer Paradise more than
I
Bachelor.
was
So
gonna
do
say.
I just love. I think it reminds me of Love Island a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
I love the
Paradise.
messiness. I love like switching it up.
I
a
liked
lot.
Wells being the bartender, but I really loved when David Spade.
I want him to be
was-
the, I agree with you guys. You guys were saying he wanted to be the host. Why the hell is he not the friggin' host?
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry. Like the other guy, he's good at The Bachelor.
You
And
guys should
that's
do
fine.
something exclusive with
That's-
ABC.
We've been
You
saying
should.
for a while now that
Should.
we want to do like host a date or whatever, and they're always
would
like,
host such a
they're
good
always
date.
like, never say never, and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, well, when
No,
are you
but
going
you
to
should
do it?
do some,
Because
like-
Or like one of the challenges, at least like being one of the judges.
Yes.
for,
Yeah.
Like something like that. 'Cause
That's what
he
I'm
always-
saying on the show.
They put like Jesse
Oh,
on the street, whatever his name is. I don't know, doing that stuff. But like you guys
I
can
agree.
easily do
Yeah.
one of the, like the funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the girls are all
I
dressed
know.
up as
listen,
something.
we try
Hey.
and we try.
Hey.
Put that out there. That's something.
Come
That's a
on.
We
Yeah.
need as many
manifest.
people as they can
Yeah.
saying it because we've been trying.
Is there any drama? Because you guys do have a lot of, I guess, couples that would date on the show, and you interview a lot of them. Has there any of them, brought that up to you? Like, like they spill the beans, they talk shit about someone else that you've had on that you're friends with. Like, is there ever any like awkwardness for you guys?
Not as much. It is fun because getting to know a lot of. I love almost all the people that we interview that come
Yeah.
from The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Because they're all normally very open and honest.
Right.
And
That's nice.
We can like create relationships outside with them, which are so fun because then that's like when
Yeah.
they really tell us what's going on.
Especially like
right,
before
right.
after we're recording the podcast.
that's
is like
when it
when we
comes
get
out.
the
Like,
most
oh, then
interesting
we-
stuff.
I feel like you guys could be matchmakers, honestly, at this point. Like you, because you guys know a lot of them. You can be like, oh, this girl would actually be great.
I
with
actually would
him.
love to talk
Please
to
tell me
that.
you've done at least one.
Caitlin and Bristow and Jason Tartick.
are,
You did that?
are basically a
Hold
couple
on.
because of us.
What?
I mean,
we tell this story all the time.
She's like, not to.
we tell the story all the time, and they've told it too. That
Yeah.
we had Caitlin on our show. We had Jason on before Caitlin.
We had Jason
and
first.
we talked to Jason about Caitlin, and he's, there was like some flirtation going on,
Yeah.
and they had done a podcast together,
yeah,
and
they
they
just
were
did
flirting.
Caitlin's podcast.
Yes.
Oh,
and then
got
we
it.
had Caitlin on, and we were like, what do you think about Jason? He was here. He seemed a little interested. You guys have a little flirty.
We were like, there
Wow.
seemed like there's maybe some flirtations
Oh, she planted
going
the seed in their
during
head.
when you guys recorded Caitlin's podcast, and she's
see
like,
it.
she like was giggling, and she was like, oh, like I don't know if I'm like fully ready to be like
Right.
dating because it was after obviously her breakup, but
Totally.
When they say that means they're secretly ready.
yeah, and,
Right,
yeah,
and
yeah.
also they were probably texting
And it was
already.
the same kind of thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what I'm sure in her mind, she was like, "Am I really going to date another person like from The Bachelor?"
Right.
Yeah. It's become so big. I
yeah.
feel like everyone is kind of a part of it in some way. I mean,
very
we went to
incestual.
Stagecoach. And my God, we went to the
Oh,
honky
how was
tonk for
that?
that thing. I mean,
Did you guys go to Blake's DJ set?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we're gonna be so honest. Blake, I'm sorry if you're watching this, you're probably not. I went there with the intention of like making fun of it because I was like, oh my God.
There's no way.
Obviously,
Blake.
Yeah.
well, we knew the
Best
whole.
set of the weekend, in my opinion. Right under Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
He was so good.
My friends
was
went,
so
they
good.
said the same
It
thing.
was so
Maybe
fun.
the transitions from song to song.
Oh yeah,
weren't the
transitions.
smoothest. It was like totally
Yeah.
different beat,
Yeah.
totally different song. I'm like, all right, not the
No,
smoothest.
killed it.
But it was fun because it was every song that you knew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you could just tell how excited he was. But it was funny because everyone from that show.
Oh
was
yeah,
in there.
every time you like pivoted your body, you'd see another.
Yeah.
Oh. It
Oh,
was
I was
crazy.
like, oh, that
Yeah.
person does not look the same.
Honestly,
person that one does.
it's good that he just dove into that,
I
right?
know.
Like he just owned his whole Stagecoach thing and then ended up
Yeah.
performing. Like
I know. There was one video that was going around. I didn't go to Stagecoach, but a lot of my girlfriends went, and they love The Bachelor, and they all went to his
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
And they were sending videos, and I was like, oh my, he did like a Fallout Boy. Like it was like
Yeah,
going
you
down,
showed me.
down,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it was like it had just like a great drop,
Yeah,
and I
you
was
were
like, Blake, I
was
love
like,
it.
I kind of
was like, I
hated
really
this guy,
love this
but
remix.
I love
Wait,
this. Yeah.
I love it because he went from like Shania Twain to like baby Justin Bieber, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right, a little sus, but I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go with it. Yeah, that was incredible.
epic.
So I love that you guys set up Jason and
Yeah,
Kristen.
it was like a week later. They were posting from their like first date, and
Definitely
we were like,
you guys.
Yeah,
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
yeah, they've given it to us.
It's so
Oh, yeah,
funny
of
that
course.
you guys
Good, they
brought that
should.
up because last time Sophia and I were on your show, we did a Zoom interview, and you had asked me, you're like, oh, do you think Tyler
Tyler,
Cameron is
yeah,
cute?
yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I wonder if they actually had a successful, because it wasn't a successful setup, but I was like, I wonder if they did have one. And I mean, you guys better be invited to the wedding, like a flower girl or
hope
something.
so.
We
said we wanted to be flower
we were
girls,
just
but-
discussing that. They have 2 golden retrievers that are so freaking
yeah,
cute.
that's so cute.
And I was like, do you guys want? I'm assuming you guys would want your
Yeah.
dogs like as part of something in
Yeah,
the wedding. and they
right,
were.
right.
Jason was like, yeah. I was like, we'll watch the dogs.
Yeah, like we'll just be the dog
like,
watchers
the dog
that can
handlers.
come and like
That
get,
sounds
and get a meal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like we can just like join the buffet and like get a
Yeah,
plate and then just
yeah.
hang out with the dogs. Like
Yeah,
we're
on
fun.
the grass.
No,
on
bare
the
minimum. Like,
grass.
I don't even.
literally
I don't
take
even
care of the
want to
dog.
sit with the
At the
people
table,
there.
yeah,
Like,
you're like, I'll find
honestly,
a
we're not
park
gonna know them
bench.
anyway. It'd probably be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like we're better off just hanging out.
That's so
You guys
funny.
can like podcast in the park while you're like
yeah.
watching from a distance.
live
I love it.
recap their
I
wedding.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, your podcast is fun because you do discuss a lot of like breakups and, you know, celebrity beef and whatnot. Has any celebrity ever like clapped back at you guys? Like I did see
Yeah, I'm
Justin
actually
Bieber
curious.
responded to you
Yeah,
once. and
Justin
I was
Bieber.
scared
That's
for
That's
you.
the
pretty
biggest one.
intense.
Justin Bieber's the biggest one. Carol Baskin, remember?
What
She-
Carol
She
Baskin?
flashback.
She
Carol
was like-
Baskin was
she
on
did.
the internet.
Yeah, she was going at me on
She did,
Twitter, and
she was- when
people
she was
were
on
fearing
Dancing
for
with
my
the
life.
Stars.
Yeah.
Oh well, she was horrible.
Right.
And so I was
and that's what we
just
said.
openly tweeting about how terrible she was, and she was not happy with me, and everyone was scared for my life.
Oh, that's fair.
I
mean,
would say
according to the
Justin
documentary.
Bieber's,
Yep.
Justin Bieber's the biggest one, which
okay.
is still
Same.
upsetting. Oh, I'm blocked by Kris Jenner, but that's not even from the,
Wait,
the
what?
podcast.
Why are you?
That's not from the show.
That's not
though.
from the show. That was from when I was like 14 years old.
Stop. What
and
did you
like,
still blocked?
I'm still blocked. It's sad because I never changed my Twitter. I've had the same Twitter since I was like literally 12 years old, maybe,
Yeah.
which
Love
was
it.
a mistake by me because I probably should have just made a new one,
one,
but
yeah.
whatever at this point. And when I was like 14 years old, I would tweet at Kris Jenner all the time, like being like, I don't know. I was like really mean to her, and I love Kris Jenner though. Like I love Kris
She's
Jenner.
like, I was manifesting podcasting.
Yeah, and I
since
would.
a young
I don't
age.
even know if I would
so
actually
funny.
call it really mean. I think I was just like passionate about the Kardashians, and like I just
love it.
followed it very closely. And
okay.
I think I was joking around a lot, but like maybe through
took
the
it personal.
internet, it doesn't
Yeah.
come across as joking
Yeah.
around. Like
right.
I remember that when. Kendall Jenner walked, I think it was a Michael Kors runway once. I know exactly when I was
She's like, I think it was
20,
No, I-
it was like 2012.
Kendall
and
Jenner
I-
walked, and I was, like I said, I was very young and also probably joking around. Like I am
Yeah.
not, like
Yeah.
I don't
When
mean
you're
this.
14, it's not like
and you're like
you're not
joking with your
malicious,
friends
yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
And Kendall Jenner walked, I'm pretty sure it was Michael Kors, and she like you could see her
The
her
boobs. I
And it was like
remember.
the first time
Yes.
Kendall Jenner showed her boobs. And I tweeted at Kris Jenner, like, how can you let your daughter, like, walk around like this? I'm a 14-year-old girl. Like, I'm not a mother being like,
That
Kris
is
Jenner, how can you
so-
like
The
I
Catholic
was
school
joking.
education's really,
Yeah, like,
really
so
getting
ingrained in
through her.
everyone's-
Where she's like, oh, cover
I
us.
know, like, Jesus Christ, meanwhile now I'm walking around with my nipples blaring on the streets of New York City. But
so funny.
And then I got blocked, and I'm still blocked to this day. But I love Kris Jenner, and I admire Kris Jenner.
We
but
love
I am,
Kris Jenner. We
but
love
I'm
her.
never getting
Unblock her.
unblocked. And
Yeah.
now if she hears that she blocked me, she's gonna be like, I'm never gonna forgive this girl.
Yeah, she's-
so it's very
Have
sad.
you guys
but-
seen?
We've heard
Have you guys
worse.
seen the new
Oh my
season
gosh.
of Kardashians?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? A lot of mixed
So
reviews.
I
I'm
was
hearing.
really excited the first 2 episodes. We
Yeah.
got like a screener for it and we
Yeah.
watched it, and I was
Oh,
really
cool.
excited. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like this seems like so real. Like this just seems like so much more real than the old show, and we're getting like a behind the scenes look. And then as the episodes went on, I was like starting to feel fake again. Like I don't know
No,
why.
I'll
like,
tell you,
was like,
I don't feel like it seems real at all.
yeah, like as it went on, I was
Yeah.
like,
It's
I'm
almost too perfect.
Yeah.
It's like their walk-ins, like no shade to you guys, but it looks like a music video every time you walk into your house.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's looking like
Music,
it's looking
slow-mo,
more
the-
like Sun Sunset.
Yeah,
Oh,
it really
And
does.
everyone's in a cat suit the whole time. And
Yeah.
maybe I got this from your podcast, or
still like
I just knew this, but probably
Yeah. Oh,
not. I
I've watched
probably got
it
this
ever
from
since.
your podcast. Was it that they had to like reshoot everything from Astro World, so the
did,
timelines
yeah.
didn't like make sense?
I think that's why things got really messy. Like
Yeah.
around an episode came out. The 5th episode was like Kris Jenner's birthday, and that is right around when Astroworld happened, and that was actually a big storyline. And they
Yeah.
were like all there, and they were
Yeah.
filming, and they cut it all. So like then they threw in this weird like Kendall being like, I'm in Miami and I care about my health and wellness, and
that
here's
was
my
so-
friend Haley, and we're getting IVs.
Yeah,
and
I was like,
it was like
my friend Haley. Like we know.
No,
like,
I
you
know.
mean Haley Bieber? Like
It was like
weirdo.
there was like 10 minutes of watching it, and you're just like, this feels extremely
why-
out of place, and that's because it was extremely
was
out of
confused- I was
place. Like
confused why
they had
she's
to
like-
cut around all the bad stuff.
I know. I was like, you're a hypochondriac. You're saying, but why are you in Miami getting health stuff when LA is probably one of the like health meccas?
I know. I
That's
think
why I was
they
a little
really
confused.
tried to like figure out a way to plug that, which I don't know. I understand that, and maybe just because of the magnitude of like what happened, they didn't want to put
Yeah.
anything in it.
Yeah.
But like I do think they could have shown something about it, or like even after have like acknowledged that it happened.
Acknowledge
Yeah,
it.
It's not acknowledging it is like we
Worse.
all know what happened.
Like even if
agree.
even
And I
if
feel
they
like
just
Chris
like
is
put up
smarter
a
than that.
black screen and wrote
Tell
like,
Chris,
and then this
look at the
happens.
camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris.
And that's usually better because
Yeah.
everyone goes, okay, like you're not shying away from it and you're
Right,
confronting
we're
there was
just-
an issue here.
The show is just completely about the whole family's life, and that's like a major moment they just did not.
I think the weirdest
talk
part
about
about
it
the
at
whole
all.
show is Scott's like persistence to be friends with all of them still.
it's
Y'all got to
it's
get
sad
him on
to
your
watch.
show.
Are you guys still in LA or are you
Yeah,
in
we
Florida?
are.
We're in
or
LA.
where?
We're in LA right
well,
now.
like in between, really.
Yeah,
Her
we go-
boyfriend lives in New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's here a lot. And then my parents moved to Florida and I'm in LA, so we're all bouncing
all over the place.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot? I'm sorry, I totally.
No, you're
I
fine.
don't
Please,
know.
please.
You can say this anywhere.
I think for me right now, I've lived in LA my whole life. I went to school there. I, like my entire life is there. But now my parents are in Florida. And I'm
All
like,
the parents are going to Florida
I-
now.
they
all
all
are going to
did your
Florida,
parents-
too.
Oh, where are you in Florida?
West Palm.
Palm Beach.
I know.
Yeah.
My parents are in Jupiter.
Yeah, it's all around the same.
Right there too.
I-
Right there.
Actually, I like it there. I wouldn't live there, now, but like I like Miami a lot, and I feel like that would be the next step. I don't know if I could live
That
in
would
New
be
York.
fun for you
New York
guys.
is
I
great.
know.
But
I
it's
was
just, I'm not
I was
seasoned
saying
no
today
one
because someone
person,
asked me
you know?
like, "What's your favorite city?" And I was like, "You know what? I actually hate all of them. Like, I don't like living in LA. Like, I just hate the people. The dating scene sucks.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks the shit don't stink.
Yeah.
New York is fun to visit, but it swallows me alive every time I'm here. Like, it's just too aggressive. I'm just like too weak around here. And then Miami's a little bit ratchet. So I'm like, where do I go? And I think Sophia and I are, discussing possibly moving to Miami next
potentially,
year.
yeah.
I feel like you guys would have fun in Miami.
I think so too.
You
At
would
least
make
for
the
a
most of
year,
it.
yeah. See
Fun.
how it goes, and
Your
then
parents are
working
there.
in New York,
Yeah.
back and forth.
Oh yeah, and
you know?
Miami to New York is you just it's so
Easy.
Yeah,
so
it's
easy.
so
many
easy.
flights.
So you guys don't love LA, like the scene and the dating life, and just from two people who have visited LA quite a few times, and every time we leave and we go, we
Not
will
it.
never live here, and we don't like the people here.
Nope.
Obviously, there's some gems. We've met some great people in LA.
Let me know where they are.
We've had good times, but the last time we were there, it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had, and I said I hate this.
Where did you
place.
go out? Did you guys
Yeah,
go
I'm
out in
curious.
LA?
So we went to Hyde, right? and
But
we've never.
I'm not gonna judge because like that's like one of the last few good ones.
No, and so we went, and it was just like,
but it's weird.
It was also, we were there Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
And they were having it, like, it was an event.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
like, it was.
I'm
it
still
was
not
a-
defending their behavior of how they
No,
acted.
no,
because
No, you shouldn't.
No, not the people that were there. No, not at all. I'm just
Who
saying,
was
like,
there?
I
What
don't think like
happened?
maybe the crowd that was there is like the usual crowd that's
Yeah.
there because
What
it was Super Bowl
happened?
week.
What
Yeah,
happened?
It was a
sometimes
Trill-
just
it was a
it
Triller
was like
event.
TikTokers there.
Oh no,
and,
there are people stuck up there. People think they're
yeah,
Yeah.
and we've and it was like
Wait.
it was just like the way that they were acting, and our friend, the person who runs our social media, Devin, was with us, and these TikTokers, we were brought into this table because we were with other people who knew them. It was like a whole thing, and they were physically pushing us out of the table. Like it wasn't like
Wait,
a,
the
hey,
Triller
it
kids?
was- yeah, like physically,
No, but also, like, the-
pushing us out of the
The
table.
boss's like henchman. Like I don't even know what to describe.
Henchman.
I don't even know how to
Oh,
describe
no.
the kid. It was like a 23-year-old kid.
He's a fucking
but
loser. This
it
kid,
was
like.
but it was like a kid sitting with clearly somebody that was his boss, like I would say an older man. Who like may run Triller, I don't know. And he
Yeah.
was like sitting there, and he's sitting in his seat, and he's
Yeah.
just like looking at what's happening.
Well, that
and
is-
like he like taps him on the shoulder, and he's like, "All right, clear these
But
people
it
out. Like,
wasn't
get rid
even
of
that.
these
He
people."
then started like physically like
Yeah.
bodying us
no,
out,
no,
and I was
no,
like,
no,
all right,
no,
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 I'm
no,
getting.
no.
I was like,
But
I'm
see,
leaving in a second.
no,
Like
that
I want
story-
nothing to do with
I mean,
that.
That story is
there's-
LA in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
really
I'm saying.
is.
Like, I don't think it was just that because we were there Super Bowl week. I feel like it's
No,
that
it's a
all
hierarchy.
the time.
Yeah.
It's a hierarchy. If you're not cool enough, if you're not a part of that crowd, you shouldn't be
Or if
involved
you
in it.
like
And
the
they-
following isn't high
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
it's really bad. And if you're not from LA, and honestly, I don't think I could acclimate well in LA if I wasn't basically raised there my whole life.
Yeah.
But people that move into there, they have a really hard time getting
Oh,
in there
yeah.
because you need your crowd.
Yeah.
No one
Because
really
you
involves
already know everybody there.
Yeah.
You've made your friends. You've
Exactly.
made your connections.
making
but, like,
new
people-
friends
Yeah.
nearly impossible. Like I
Super
think
hard.
East Coast people are way friendlier.
Yeah.
They don't really care so much about aesthetics, looks, what you do for a job. Like they
Yeah.
really just want to have
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah.
Whereas in LA, it's even the guys. Everyone's an actor model. I don't want to date
know.
someone prettier than me.
Yeah.
Or in this industry. I don't. Like
No,
it
I
sucks.
don't know.
If you like, if I were to take you guys to like the bars I go to in New York, you'd be like, wait, this is what you do. I'd be like, I'm sitting on a bar stool like watching like a basketball game.
No, that's great. But no, it's
But, like,
perfect.
No, I know.
Cool.
Like,
You know,
I know.
perfect.
That's
Like
the
sometimes
thing.
I feel bad. Like people come to New York and they're like, we want to go out. I'm like, I
You're
don't
like,
think
this
you
is-
wa-
this
I'm
is
like, do you
me.
want to
This
go?
is
I'm like,
it.
I don't know if you want to go to the places that I want to go.
That's
You're
it.
like, I'm getting a beer, I'm watching the game, we're good.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's
Yeah.
kind of what's nice is because LA, we're not able to go to bars and just chill.
Yeah.
That's not the climate there.
Yeah.
Like everyone here is like, oh, let's go get drinks after work or
Yeah,
let's go
yeah.
to a bar on a Thursday, whatever
Yeah.
it is. There it's like, if you're not going to
Yeah.
Boa Steakhouse on Sunset and then going
Yeah.
to Poppy after,
Yeah.
like what the fuck are
But
you
you're
doing?
going all
we
out.
went to
Yeah.
Delilah.
Oh.
And that
Yeah, we were just like-
it was like we wanted to just cross it off the
Yeah.
bucket list.
You
of,
gotta-
What did
like
you think?
people watching.
What did
and
you think?
It was fun for people watching.
Yeah.
That and also, I thought it was like overrated. Like the food.
The food, like, wasn't
So,
great.
I thought it was like. I was like, wait.
Service was terrible.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Horrible.
what
Yeah.
is service?
Yeah.
And
Took us
also
like 2 hours to
kind
get
of
our food.
Everything in LA is overrated.
And kind of awkward in my opinion that
Everything
like we're
awkward.
like standing up with our like mini weenies like dancing and I'm like I just want to like sit down
go
but
home.
I don't know if I don't know if I should be dancing or if I should be eating. Like I'm just very
Yeah,
confused.
that's how I feel
about
right now.
it.
I'm like, I keep standing up. I always
Yeah.
slip to go to the bathroom because the floor's so
Right,
slippery.
yeah.
I'm like, I hate it
And then
here.
you could tell like the people there that are like famous and cool or whatever, and then we're there and you're like you can tell that they don't want anyone like even stepping near
No,
them.
it's-
And
No,
it's
no.
like
Jacob already was there, and we just got
Yeah,
to look at him,
Jacob-
so that was
yeah.
nice.
That's
Wait.
nice. From a distance, you
I
can
know.
just,
I was like,
cross
I'd
it
love
off.
to see him in
Yeah,
real
he was
life.
there
so
with
there
Owen
he
and
was.
Jade.
Was he?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
they're dating right
Stassi
now.
baby.
That's right. That's right.
Is that real?
Yeah,
I don't
It seems
know.
like it.
Seems
yeah,
like it.
there was photos of them like with the dog.
See,
That's
you know what?
as legit as
Delilah
you
has
can
a
get.
no photo policy, but that would have been a
yeah,
good
yeah,
photo.
that
would've been a good photo.
That would have been a good photo.
You know, that's I think even worse is dating in LA. I know you guys both have boyfriends. Like, how do you think the dating climate is in New York versus
yeah.
LA?
I feel like the clientele, one might say, is just different. Like you got a
Yeah,
bunch of
the
finance
clientele.
pros in
Right.
New York
Right,
City.
it's just like,
That's
this sounds
where in
very
LA you're
harsh.
just
It's
getting
a
all
different kind
actors
of
and-
douche.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's-
like different brand.
Yeah.
Same douche, different language.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
Different
New York,
fonts.
They're different,
Yeah.
different fonts. They're like both cocky, but I feel like LA guys are insecure cocky.
Yeah.
Whereas New Yorkers are just
LA is
cocky.
Comic Sans, and
You
New York
know?
is like Helvetica.
Like LA, I feel like
both pompous, but
the guys are insecure, but want you to think that they're not at all, and they think they're better, but inside they're like they're not. Where in New York, they actually don't think that at all. They actually think they're better.
Yeah, and
like,
you know
there's
what?
no-
what's
Literally.
worse? I don't know.
That story of you guys going to hide is simply the reason we have not gone to a club in over 3 years.
I don't
like you just don't go out. And I feel like when I'm in New York, I'm like, oh wow, I was telling Sophia, I've had a cocktail every night. Like
There's so many places.
So
you can go to
many
so many
places.
places. So
Also,
many places.
in LA, like there is a feeling that like so many people visit LA and then they go to these places and then in their mind they're like, oh my God, I hope we see someone famous tonight.
really is,
like
yeah.
they're looking around. I mean, I do it when I'm in LA.
No, of
like I'm looking
course.
around, I'm like, who we gonna see?
My
like,
eyes are going.
And we were not
I'm
expecting to
El
see
Paseo-
Jacob already.
If I'm in El Paseo, I'm like hoping, me too. I'm like, I've been living here for 25
I
years.
know,
I'm like,
I
who
know.
am I going to see tonight?
Exactly. And in New York, like you could walk into any bar, any place, and people do not give a fuck about who you
That's
are.
what I
Like that's why it's
like.
no, it's
There's
great.
so many hidden gems too.
do you see you like? Do you think you're gonna live here forever?
No.
I think I might.
Oh, why? And why now?
I mean, I grew up in New Jersey and I can't like envision myself like raising kids somewhere else.
Right.
I don't know like if I would want to I just feel more comfortable knowing that I like know where I am. And maybe I'll live somewhere else short term before that. I mean,
Right.
we just went to San Diego. I fucking loved San Diego.
Oh, do you guys like it?
I loved San Diego.
Oh, it's a different
Like,
vibe there.
I liked it, but I
it's-
just wouldn't
Yeah.
live on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna move anywhere,
Fair.
Yeah, I
I
agree
would
with
probably
that.
move to Florida.
Yeah.
But it would be Florida
Yeah.
or
I'll
see you
New
there.
York. Yeah.
You're gonna come to Miami with us.
Why don't we all move at the same time?
I love Florida. Like I would move there in a second.
It's so much fun. I love Brooklyn.
Why not? And you
And it's
just
kind of
you
like a
just don't
mini
like
New York, except
Yeah.
it's
I
beach.
don't not like New York.
Yeah.
I've just been here my whole life. I don't like. I wouldn't say I don't like Manhattan. I do like Manhattan, but I lived in Manhattan for a couple years, and I felt a lot better when I moved back home to Long Island. Just something
Yeah.
about it.
Interesting,
Like I
yeah.
don't even know. This
Yeah.
sounds so like just the energy around. Like I just felt like there's just so many people, so
Do
much
you
going
feel
on,
like-
and
yeah.
I felt
fucking
more.
love
I
Manhattan.
felt
Yeah.
more relaxed. Like being on Long Island,
That's
which
how
is
I
like
feel when
more
I'm
like
in New York.
suburb,
I feel like I don't know what my home base is right
Yes, and
Yeah.
there's so many things to do that I would just go lay on my couch because I was like, there's so much to do that I actually don't want to do any of it.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right,
now that
right.
I don't live in the city, we work in the city. I go out of my way to do things in the city because I
Right.
don't live there. So it's
Yeah.
like I will find a cool restaurant to go to or
Right.
a place
Yeah.
to go out or
Right, right,
whatever.
right.
But I don't want to like sleep there.
For sure.
Right, I get that.
I want to circle it back to the podcast.
Yeah.
I was reading an article on page 6, and you guys are so big. You have so much exposure. A lot of love comes with a lot of hate. And it was titled "Chicks in the Office Reveal the Creepy DMs Men Keep Sending." And this is Sophia and I. We are so familiar with
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Except
well, most of our
because
followers are men.
yeah, most of our followers are men.
Over the
and,
age of 60.
Like way too kinky for
Please
our
don't follow
liking.
me.
Like way too kinky.
Like, I don't care at this point.
So, what do they say to you guys? Because I'm like trying to honestly wrap my head around what could they possibly say bad about you guys? Like you guys are just like telling news and your experience.
Oh,
and
if
that's
you guys
it.
want to just take my phone right now and go through my
But,
DMs,
like,
you would
what
just
would be an
see
example?
Are they younger or are they older?
One I got last night was really good. Shut up, you cunt whore bitch. That was a good one.
It's a good.
I like that one.
It's a good mix. I would say mostly younger.
But see, I'm trying to
Like mostly
differentiate.
like younger, like
Oh yeah, this was the one
kids that
last
just
night.
don't know what the fuck they're
Whore,
doing.
fuck you, whore, fuck you, stupid cunt bitch. Those are good
I
ones.
just don't
Wait,
know
but does
what
it-
possesses
Can you click
someone?
on the person? I want to see just like.
Oh, it's really. Oh wait, I'll show you guys some good ones I was going
yeah,
through
I would
last
love
night,
to
where
see
like
it.
it's somebody with their kid. Like it's
No.
really
Oh,
good.
we
Wait.
love someone that's a family man.
But I'm trying to
that has
understand.
a colorful
you're,
language.
I won't read this full one, but it starts off like, "Hey, you're the number one bitch." Like he's calling me a bitch, and then it's his girlfriend or wife, and
But you know,
and
and he
the-
follows you.
and he follows me.
But that could be a compliment. You could read it like you're the number one.
The,
bitch.
the rest of the DM, I
wife
know
is
that
not the
he's
number
not
one. Okay,
referring
okay.
to as that. There was another. There was a family. There was a.
There was a woman that sent you
Oh,
one
yeah,
that
there was
and
mom.
Her Instagram was
Wait, his
her
mom?
child's name, Mommy.
Yeah, somebody's mommy, and then it was
Yeah.
a girl, and she was like, hashtag team shut up, you skank.
That's a crazy hashtag.
Yeah, it was very in depth, creative.
Wait, but I'm trying. Do you think it hurts more when it comes from a young person or an old person?
I think it It actually doesn't hurt me at all anymore.
Really?
Because I feel like I nobody's ever really creative anymore. It's like I see the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So you're just
I think
numb.
it's more
Expand your
shocking.
vocabulary.
Like I would use shocking as the words where it's like when you see so and so's mommy DMs you like, you stupid skank, you're like, somebody's mom is taking out the time to do this. And like when I talk to my parents about it, they're like, imagine we took out the time to say that to somebody.
To a young girl.
Like to a young girl. And then like you see a guy with his like young daughter in his profile picture. This happens all the time.
Those are the guys where it's like just kind of
weird.
pathetic.
Yeah, and
like,
they're either being creepy.
You're weird, man.
Right, trying to hit on you, being creepy, or calling you a whore. And it's like,
Which one is it?
Right, and it's like
one am I?
you have your young daughter in your picture, and you're not even
Yeah.
thinking like when she grows up. Like imagine somebody saying that to her.
Yeah,
Like it's so insane. To
Have
me.
you guys ever addressed that on your show, like to people
we
listening?
try and stay away from it only because
Yeah.
anytime you bring more attention to it, it is an open invitation
To
for them
go.
to send more.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
like because at the end of the day, they're people that are unhappy in their life and they like are sending these things.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
like if they hear you talking about them, like that's the attention that
It
they're
fuels
looking
them.
for.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just like it's not worth it. Like everybody always
No.
jokes, especially at Barstool, like people year after year, the idea to do like mean tweets. You know how Jimmy Kimmel
Yes,
does like mean
yeah.
tweets?
Yeah.
They like are like, why don't you guys do like a mean tweets segment? And we're like, no. Like every
No,
year it's
no.
like
Because
it's
then
not
people-
like
'cause then they're gonna get more creative with it.
exactly.
And they send
like, it's like
more.
no,
Yeah.
just so they can get featured in a
totally.
video and like be so
I
happy
agree.
about
It's one of
it.
those things that will never end. No
Yeah.
matter what,
I
it will
totally
never
agree.
end. If you
Yeah.
tell people to stop, they won't stop. So it's like, why even waste the energy and being
I know.
like, stop?
And it's hard to not read them. And I've noticed with my following, it's more what they want to do to us, which is really scary. But on my TikTok, now those are some creative insults.
Dad? Like
Yeah,
it's like a
in
like
some
his
way, it's like
demographic,
perverted.
and they like fantasize.
Fantasize about like dominating because our dad is
The
like
worst
he
was
is.
recently there was a guy that was like messaging Sophia, like I'm outside your bedroom window, I
was
can
gonna
see
say,
it,
like, if you guys-
and like he
Oh,
was
yeah.
describing
I've had
what the
people come on
house looked
campus in
like.
college.
Yeah.
and
And then what do you do about that?
You can't do anything.
I
We
just
tried to
think,
hire
honestly,
like
it
people
gives
to
me
help
like
us find it. but
true
it didn't work
anxiety. Like
out.
I suffer with anxiety. Like it elevates it, and so I
Yeah.
try
That's
not to read it. But we
terrifying.
have like true perverse people that send stuff, and
But they actually show up. That's
and they
the
show
crazy
up,
thing.
and they actually like buy their tickets.
They
somewhere.
followed us to high school before.
We were in Milan
Yeah,
working,
it's
and they
crazy.
came to Milan.
They came to the show. I mean, it was
shows. It's just like
crazy.
it's
What the fuck
I
is
know.
going on with people?
Ours are like
So
committed.
sorry.
Like
I feel like I've
they don't.
cursed so much on this podcast,
no,
I'm
we
not sure
curse.
if I was
No,
allowed.
you're fine. You're totally allowed.
Our stalkers are committed. They follow through.
We
which is-
love committed fans.
You're not even mad, you're impressed.
Mentally and
I'm so
committed.
impressed.
Physically, like no.
They
it's
buy
just-
flights.
They buy flights.
That's
And
really bizarre. I'm sorry that you guys deal with that.
it's
It's
nuts.
You know what
very
it is? It's
strange.
like
Comes with
when
it.
you're in when you're in the public eye, I feel like it's just open season. You kind of are
Yeah.
you're not even asking for it. It's just you kind of have to expect it because you're not gonna be loved by everybody. Everyone has like some stupid opinion about you when they don't know anything about you. And I think that's the worst part about being even on a podcast or anything. Like they think they're entitled to know who you are and feel like, oh yeah, like this is what
That's
they,
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like they
It's
have
like
like,
they automatically separate you from being a person with feelings because they're like, oh well, she's a public figure.
Yeah.
Like she won't read it. It won't hurt her.
Right, and we try to talk about this on our show because we do talk about so many people and topics and whatever drama, and it's like you have to remind yourself and also the people listening that we only know a very small percentage of the story that we're getting. Like
Yeah.
there are so many details in people's
Right.
lives that you just would have no idea about,
Totally.
and you never will. So it's kind of just like putting that perspective, and then you can have your opinions on whatever you're
Exactly.
given.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what's next for you guys? Because I know that you have a tour come. Like you just did a
We just
tour.
finished. Yeah, we just
Are
finished our
you
tour.
guys gonna do another
Yeah,
round?
do
of it?
another one,
Like,
please.
Or was that just
Yeah.
so much? Because you guys were
definitely will.
everywhere.
I think we will, but we'll focus
Take a little break.
back. Yeah, we're gonna take a break, then we'll go back to the East Coast.
What was the
Okay,
schedule
cool.
like for you guys? Like how often were you? Oh, she gave me a
It was,
look.
it was
We did,
because
there's
oh my
so many
god,
cities
We did 2 weeks on the West Coast, and we did shows in San Diego, Scottsdale, San Francisco, Portland, and
Oh my
Seattle.
God.
And the
Okay.
first 2 stops were nice because we kind of had we had a day show and then another day, so it was
Right,
kind of
right,
like
right.
3 days. And then we had that in San Diego, that in Scottsdale, and then the next week we did shows every other night. So we did Tuesday,
Right.
Thursday, Saturday, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle.
Holy, my brain
And
is gonna explode.
the reason I made that face was because before we did the tour, it was like, all right, we're gonna plan to do all these things because we
Yeah.
were like filming vlogs, and then like I was like, guys,
Imagine
we're
if we
gonna-
went to Coachella
no,
before.
I know that would have been
no.
dumb.
Our
There's
original
no
plan-
survival rate.
Yeah.
Zero.
Our original plan was like, it'll line up perfectly. We'll go to Coachella like the weekend
Yeah, no.
before,
No.
and then start the tour. And then once it got closer, I've gone before, and I was like, guys, I think this is a bad
Honestly,
idea.
I heard this year was bad as well.
Yeah, and
yeah.
I was trying to factor in naps before we even got like
was
to the
scheduling
tour.
naps.
No, like I was
We
like,
had-
guys, we're gonna
had
We
need.
had
You
a
have to.
full-blown meeting before we left of like planning activities, and she was like, I don't think I have enough time to sleep.
Yeah, I was like, when are we
Fair,
gonna like
fair.
factor in the naps here?
Yeah.
And they were like, what are you talking about? We're only doing this one time. And then the middle of the tour hits, everyone's tired, everyone needs their rest. I was
Yeah.
like, I told you
We should have scheduled in
we
naps.
and there
We were
I
ambitious.
stayed back from some things. I was like, I don't feel well. I don't care.
Yeah. No,
I am
it's true.
staying home.
That's
Like,
important to
the most
preserve.
important part of this trip is the show.
Yep.
So
Oh, yeah.
I don't care. I'm gonna focus on that and I'm
Yeah.
gonna sleep all day.
Yeah.
But I think
And all the shows were great.
yeah, the shows
so
were
good. They
so
looked
awesome.
so
Were you ever
fun.
nervous that
Crowds
people would
were
not
great.
come? Because I always feel like with live shows, you're like, are people
They're
gonna
gonna show up.
Well, all our
Yeah.
we
West
sell tickets
Coast we did.
beforehand, so we like
Yeah.
knew how many people were coming,
Yeah.
and we sold out all our shows. Besides,
Oh my
That's
god.
so awesome.
one of them was like just a few tickets short, but
Yeah.
we could just say we sold it out.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Right, but it was
The room
just-
was full.
Yeah, it was cool to just
looked
see
filled.
it
Yeah.
on the West Coast because it is our fan base is more on the East Coast, and
Right.
just to see that we
Yeah.
can reach that fan base over there, and then with the East Coast that we did in the fall. We did it like weekend by weekend, so it wasn't like a 2-week
Right.
trip straight through.
Yeah.
And we sold out each of those shows within seconds. And so we were like, wow, we like sold ourselves short. So now the next one that we do will be on the East Coast and it'll be like
Bigger.
way bigger
Oh,
than
well, I
like the
can't wait
original
for
one
that.
we did.
Oh, we
And
wanna
we're-
come.
Yeah, we want to do ones in Florida because our families.
Yeah.
We were like, why don't we were just do a Florida tour?
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
just hit
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
different
Jupiter,
spots there.
Portland, we'll do West Palm, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, maybe Orlando.
stop it.
Literally
Let's
just
do
do all
We'll
of
go to
Florida.
Disney. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah, and then we'll go to a club and we won't get pushed out of tables. I promise you that.
We'll have a good time.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
it.
so
So you
much
guys gonna plan a tour of Florida just so we can
Yeah.
hang out, and this
Exactly.
is fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you
us.
guys.
Plug where everyone can find your merch, your social medias, your podcast, everything.
You can follow us on Chicks in the Office on Instagram. Personal Instagram is Maria Chiffo. That's CIUFFO because I know nobody will know how to spell that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm at Francesca Mariano on Instagram.
You can go
Chicks
to
in the Office. You said that?
Yeah,
on
Chicks in the
Instagram?
Office. You can go to store.barstoolsports.com and go to the Chicks in the Office section, shop all our merch. We got a lot of new merch
Yep.
coming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
By the
new
way,
designs, so we love it.
I still wear your merch that you
She
gave me
does.
from
Yeah.
years ago.
Well, you
the
need
light
more.
purple
Fuck,
with the
we
little
should've
chick.
brought- we just
No,
came out with a new one. We
cute.
should have got you a
It's
new
so-
one.
By the way, it still holds up. So
Yeah,
I don't
amazing.
know.
It's really cute, but we
fantastic.
have even cuter stuff now.
Great.
So we'll make sure we
Ooh.
send
Yeah.
you guys
So
stuff.
exciting.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Thanks.
watching this week,
Thank
and we will
you.
see you next Tuesday.
Bye.